believe we are live. Um, so we literally just finished The Walking Dead. Daryl Dixon
Just finished it.
just finished. Like we just watched it. This is the
Yep.
day it came out. It came out earlier this morning, I believe. But we just finished it. Watched it this evening, and as soon as we finished, we all jumped up and ran to our computers so that we could get this done. So, um, I have a couple things I would like to touch on, but I want to open it up for the two of you. If you have anything specific um, that stood out to you that you like to see, that maybe you would want to see a little bit differently, or really just anything like that that stuck out to you that you want to bring up or acknowledge from what we saw in episode 1. If you have anything you want to throw out before I jump in, and then we can hash out what I've got too.
Um,
The
the way that they
British.
did London, just the UK,
Uh, yeah, you guys both started talking at the same time. TGK, what did you say?
the way they did the UK and London.
Yeah, and so we did too. I'll say this: we watched the episode. We were watching on AMC Plus, and so at the end of the episode, they have a behind the scenes type thing, and so they showed that, which was kind of cool. They're and I'll throw this out there too before we get started. There will be spoilers. I think it should go without saying, but I'll say it just in case. There will be spoilers. So they filmed it in Spain, most of it, but they did a lot of CGI showing like the background in London, and that was interesting to see. There's a couple scenes that I knew it was CGI based on just like how it looked, but I think I mentioned this when we talked about we did the reaction to the trailer. I like seeing the big, like Big Ben and the London Bridge, and or like we saw in the first season, the Eiffel Tower, stuff like this. Seeing what it looks like now that everything has gone to crap and people are stopped taking care of it. But it was interesting to see that. Common Magpie, what was it that you were going to say when you and TGK spoke at the same time?
The British.
The British.
They're all gone.
London
British
Bridge
are
was not
all-
falling down.
Yeah, the London Bridge was not falling down completely, actually. The British were all gone. We saw the last British person, which honestly I was going to be a little aggravated with because the character was actually a decent character. Julian,
British last name.
I know it, Chamberlain. Julian Chamberlain.
Yeah.
But he, I think, was an awesome character. But we saw in the after thing that he actually told them he only had one episode that he could do, and so he just did it. It really sucks because he did really well with it, and he was a really interesting character, and I would have loved to see how he played out. Kind of played off of Daryl and Carol going forward. I think that would have been very interesting to see. But also, I think that he just would have brought another element to the story that we don't have with Daryl and Carol, or with any character so far. So I was definitely bummed to see that. Yes, R.I.P. Jules, we miss you already, mate. And I was definitely bummed to see that because it was a very, very well done character. But anything else you guys want to bring up before? Like I said, I've got a couple of specifics that I would like to touch on.
Not that I can think of.
Okay.
How did whenever he was a walker, he was pretty far away from the boat. So how,
Yeah.
since he was a walker, how did he go from below deck all the way out and across the across shore some?
Well, I mean, you got to think about it. He could have been thrown out of the boat. It's well within the realm of possibility. Um, and it could have been like as water was surging in, he got like sucked out, and he just washed up on shore there, maybe where he was at. Maybe that's something too, because if he was turned, if he was a walker, then why didn't he go after um, Daryl or Carol there? But it could have just been that he washed up in a different spot than they did. What do you guys think about the group that we have seen so far? Pretty intimidating, I think. The dude that's got like the skull helmet that he's wearing.
Yeah.
It's the reclaimed.
What's that?
It's the reclaimed.
The Reclaimed. That's for anyone that's familiar with the VR game. That is the Reclaimed.
Here,
I
I'm
think
pulling up a
TGK's
picture.
pulling it up.
Yeah. You know
So-
me so well.
Yeah, well, I saw your screen light up. So the Reclaimed is a group in the VR game that you interact with, kind of you fight against. But yeah, he's gonna pull up there. We'll show it here. This is the Reclaimed, and you actually see them like the very very beginning as you're going into the game. That's where the screenshot is from.
Mm-hmm.
But it did kind of remind me of that a little bit. I think it's pretty clear that I think those are bad dudes. And I think it's also pretty clear that they are different than the ones that we saw that were in like the Jeep that were driving by at the end. What do you guys, there's very, very short exposure to them. What do you guys think of them though? Do you think they're going to be good, bad? Any idea?
They're gonna be bad boys.
You think they're going to be bad?
I think they're gonna be bad, but this might be a little off. But
Go for it.
they seem like what if it's like they're bad, but what they think that they're doing good.
I could see that. So I think that they are the group. Do you remember in the trailer, there's the group that would come in and they would take one daughter of the village and they would trade it for like guns or whatever?
Yeah.
I think those are the people that would come in and take one of the daughters. So I could see them.
Was actually part deer.
I could see them being a almost kind of like a saviors, where they are, they say that they're coming in and they're saving people, but they kind of are by providing protection, but they're also killing people. So I could kind of see them being something similar to that. Possibly, we don't know for sure. Skull helmets, net traps, and more. Oh my! Yes, the net traps were an interesting piece too. I think I was gonna say I feel like we've seen something like that already, but you guys haven't seen that. That's on Tales of the Walking Dead, and we have not watched Tales of the Walking Dead yet, at least not all together. So, I think that was an interesting piece. What do you guys think the big cliffhanger? And these lives that we do after the episode, they're not going to be long, 10, 15 minutes, maybe max. What do you guys think on the big cliffhanger for the episode? Where is Carol? Do we think she wandered off? Do you think she got taken?
She probably wandered off.
Yeah, I think she
Because-
wandered off.
Well, or did she wander off and then get taken?
Probably just wander off.
Just wandered off? That's I'm leaning towards that, but I could also see it seems to be a fitting storyline that Carol would wander off and get snatched, and Daryl would have to go rescue her.
What if? So Carol's like, she hit her head a little hard. So like, what if she started wandering off, and she was kind of like, she wasn't really in it, and then she took a step and she actually like fell through like that giant like opening in the ground that it left off at where Daryl was.
Yeah, that
She
could
just
be.
fell in.
Yeah, I mean, it's very possible too. She is kind of not all there in her head. She's got an injury. It could be that she's wandered off like somewhere like that.
She's very sleepy.
She's very sleepy. I'm interested to see obviously what happened to her. I think you guys are probably right. I don't think she was taken from that shack. I think she was probably did wander off, but I think that she wandered off, and I'm gonna say she got nabbed by probably that group that we saw, the second group in the the Jeep that went by.
That makes sense.
That would be my guess. Now there's a lot of interesting stuff coming up. I think the idea of them getting back to the America, getting back to everybody from the original show, I think is definitely still a possibility, but I feel like they're going to continue pushing it off as long as they can because they want to keep Daryl Dixon as its own show as long as they can. So one other thing I do want to bring up that I thought was really, really good is, which we haven't seen this completely yet, but we've got 7 episodes instead of 6. Now it's only one more, but that's something that we have talked about a lot recently. Just kind of us all together, or with us, even like in some of the stuff that we've done, some of the shows that are the episodes that we've put out, we have discussed the fact that they keep doing these 6 episode seasons, and it's very, very annoying. Now, Dead City season 2 was 9 episodes, and we're currently working through that. We hadn't finished that yet. And then this one, from what I saw, it looks like it's going to be 7 episodes, which is a step up. Could still be better. I like the Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead. They both did a 6 season initial episode, and then they went to 16, I think, or 12. And then The Walking Dead, towards the end of it, the last 2 seasons were both, I think one was 22 episodes, one was 23. As long as they have enough story to cover that, and I think they definitely have enough story to cover that. Carol Def wandered off, even a little loopy. She would have made a scene in the little shack trying to get away from them. Yeah, I agree with that. That's why I think she did probably wander off, and I think she probably got nabbed when she was out. Maybe she heard something and thought it was Daryl, and so she was going up to them. I could see that possibly the next episode actually starting off with Carol and like her leaving the little hut thingy that they were at, and like what happened to her, and then you go back to where Daryl was. I'm trying to think. I don't think there's anything really major that we had not talked on from this episode. Obviously, it's still the first episode, so there's a lot that's left wide open. That's not really answered. Do you guys have anything specific still that you want to bring up, or what do you think we'll see in the next episode?
Next episode,
I think you're right with starting off with Carol.
Okay.
You want to stop interrupting me?
Go ahead, TGK.
I think if I had to guess, so it's gonna show what happened with Carol, and then honestly, maybe instead of it going back to showing Daryl, it may have Carol being taken to like the main like town that we see in the trailer.
Yeah.
Which if you can recall my thumbnail for the trailer review, the dude who was turned into you, that part whenever you first see him.
You
Yeah.
should
That
have made
guy's
him.
voice.
You should have made him the British guy.
I would be okay with that now, as long as I'm not a French dude. Speaking of French dudes, what about Laurent? Do you think we're going to see him again?
No.
I feel like maybe just because they like just out of nowhere brought him up again.
Here's another idea. This literally just popped in my head. What if, because I've heard a lot of rumors that they are going to be starting up several other spinoffs. What if the plan is to have a new show start up, which this is something your guys' sister has said that she would like to see, is a spinoff of Eugene, which that would most likely be around the Commonwealth or Alexandria area. So what if they're planning on starting up another spinoff there, kind of along the lines of the main show, but they're looking to bring in new characters that can tie the other spinoffs back into it? That's where Laurent and the other dude, I don't remember
The
his
pilot
name.
guy.
Yeah, pilot dude, possibly come in is there. Maybe they show back up in that spinoff as a possibility. Yeah, I think so. Another comment here. I think so too, since they intentionally brought him up. Yeah, I'd agree. I think if they weren't going to do anything with him, they probably would have just left it and not mentioned it, because they didn't have to bring him back up. Now, I don't know that I think he's going to be in Daryl Dixon anymore. Possibly, if Daryl Dixon eventually gets back to the U.S., or maybe they don't make it back to the Americas. Maybe they crash land somewhere, and Daryl and them end up meeting up with Laurent and Airplane Dude. So that's a possibility as well. But I think that's it. Do you guys have anything else you want to throw out there? We're on about 18 minutes before we go, or you guys good on where we're at?
I think I'm good.
Okay. We will leave it there then, and we'll be back again next week. Immediately following us watching the show will probably be around 9 o'clock Eastern time. Typically is when you can expect these to go live. It just kind of depends on when we're able to actually sit down, watch, and then as soon as we're done watching, we will jump on live. Yeah, that is all we have for this one. Let us know in the comments anything that you think we should have touched on that we didn't touch on, or anything that stuck out to you, or what you're expecting in the coming episode. We'll end with this comment. Common Magpie's facial expressions are top notch. So that is where we will leave it off. And we also recently we rebranded. We're not Screen Scoop anymore. You may notice we are No Sanctuary, because we realized that there's another channel called Screen Scoop that has the same content that's much bigger. So we decided to just kind of rebrand a little bit. But remember, going forward, there is no sanctuary.